Okay, good evening, everyone. We're broadcasting live October 20th, 2015. Tonight, we're not going to do a Dhammapada. I'm going to ask to do a short session tonight because I have an exam tomorrow and various things going on this week. So just wasn't able to get around to it. Today was a big day as well and wasn't able to get around to study for the Dhammapada. Takes at least a little bit of preparation. So hopefully we'll do that tomorrow instead. Tonight, if there are any questions, I'll answer questions. Otherwise, well, let's start with that. Are there any questions?
Yes, I'm sure there are. Just have to see where they start. Hello, Bante. Sometimes in meditation, I don't know if I'm forcing myself or if I'm just trying to be sincere in the practice. And when I let go, many thoughts come to my mind, although I try to be mindful about them. But I feel a bit lazy and feeling that I am not sincere enough in my practice. Can you help me with this complex? Thanks.
Well, the entry point there is feeling lazy, or judging yourself as lazy, however it actually appears to you. If you really do have a feeling of lethargy, then you should acknowledge that. If you have just a guilty feeling like, oh, I'm being lazy, then that's a judgment. And you should acknowledge that, like judging or thinking or disliking or however it appears to you. But trying to be sincere is usually problematic. I mean, you either are or you aren't. It's not about trying. As Yoda said, do or do not, there is no try. I mean, on some level you are trying, and trying is important. And it's important to keep trying and never give up. But as you practice, you'll start to realize that it's not exactly a trying. It's just okay, now I'm mindful. I'm mindful again. I'm mindful again. I'm mindful. It's not a sense of being sincere or pushing. In the sense of cultivating something, because that becomes a sankhara in a sense. There's a formation. You start to have an artificial formation arise, which we don't want. We want to be natural. So the effort that you put out is just that one moment, to be mindful in one moment, and then again in another moment. I would focus more on your judgment of thinking you're lazy, because it sounds like that's okay if you let the thoughts come to the mind. That's fine. They're coming not because you want them to. You just have to catch them when they do come. Once you realize that you're thinking, that yourself thinking. Eventually you'll catch it quicker and quicker.
Question for anyone who can answer it. It seems as though the number of minutes in the meditation log decreases gradually. Is there a time limit on how long your minutes of meditation stay in the log?
I think a week. I think your personal meditation log is for the past week. Don't quote me on that, but there is a time limit, yes. It's not
good.
giving you your lifetime meditation. It's just giving you the past week, I think. Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, it's just a simple log. What we need is a professional to make this site look all beautiful and jQuery it up a bit, or Ajax it up. I don't know what you'd use. Stylish it up.
We're supposed to be boring. We're meditators.
That's true. Good that it's kind of boring and uninteresting.
Yes, we don't want to be distracted from meditation.
It's a bit of a mess, really. I mean, it looks like a patchwork robe. Looks like a monk picked up pieces off the floor and sewed them together.
As I recall, you put this together pretty quickly. So considering, it's very functional. Bante, I was wondering if I have started a habit in meditation that is incorrect. When I turn my awareness specifically to thoughts, they disappear as soon as I note them. I feel like this is sort of like cultivating aversion, but I'm not sure. I've always known to simply observe them, not get them to go away.
No, it's not getting them to go away, but that's clear. They do go away. Your intention is not to make them go away. Your intention is to remind yourself that's a thought. Unfortunately, no, of course, when you remind yourself that's a thought, you're thinking something new, and so you've broken the chain. That's normal. Aversion is something entirely different.
Can you explain today's quote? The quote is, "Of the tree in whose shade one sits or lies, not a branch of it should he break. For if he did, he would be a betrayer of a friend, an evildoer."
I recognize this one. It is from the Jataka. Let's find the good. There's a really good English translation, if I remember correctly. Except it's got the wrong numbers. 493. Which one? What's it in the name? It's called the Maha Wanija. Here we are. The tree that gives you pleasant shade to sit or lie at need, you should not tear its branches down, a cruel, wanton deed. It's funny, really, but it's a weird verse, really. I assumed it was a metaphoric, right? Like, don't. It evades me. There eludes me. There's something about how this relates to a good friend. There's some story of this man but someone who betrays a friend, and then it's compared to cutting the branch off a tree that shades you. Yeah, I think it's a metaphor. The Vajataka doesn't look like it's actually metaphorical, but the idea is you don't betray a friend or someone who has been helpful to you.
Are the three marks conceptual?
No, they are characteristics of reality.
We're caught up on questions for the moment, so could I talk about offering you a robe?
Sure.
Okay. Um, this is the time of year when the rains retreat ends, and typically people will offer a robe to a monk at their local monastery. And not long ago, not long enough ago, just about a week ago, it occurred to me that maybe our internet community could find a way to offer Venerable Yuta Dhamma a robe. And it's a little complicated since we're kind of spread out around the world, and a little complicated, but we got a way to figure it out. I've been in touch with a person in Thailand who is placing an order for a robe, and we have an opportunity. I have an opportunity for people to share in the merit of this. I just posted it into the link there. And if anyone would like to share in the merit of this, please do. So, what actually happened was, well, a couple of things. Um, I wasn't actually sure of the cost of the robe because it is in baht, and I'm not very knowledgeable about that, but I have a rough estimate. But I have a plan for everything that is donated over and above the actual cost of the robe, and that is before Venerable Yuttadhammo began his own monastery, he stayed at Stony Creek, a monastery called Wat Khmer Kram, and he at one point said he'd really like to do something nice for them. They had supported him for a long time, and he'd like to do something nice for them. And this is kind of our opportunity to share in that merit as well. So, anyone who would like to share in the merit of the robe, please do so. Everything that we receive over and above the cost of the robe will be redonated to Wat Khmer Kram because they also have an online campaign. They're doing a building project of some sort. And if you look at the campaign that I created in the text of it, it shows the second campaign where any additional funds will be regifted. So there's a lot of good merit potential if anybody's interested. So what's going to happen with the robe is it will be mailed from Thailand to the monastery, and to people who are local, Aruna and Stefano, who's going to be going to the monastery to meditate for a couple months, will offer it to Venerable Yuttadhammo, or possibly even put together a little ceremony and possibly invite others if others are available. Certainly, anybody who's in the area, let us know. We can figure out something and make it nice. It will probably be a little bit after the normal deadline, um, but hopefully not too long after the normal deadline. So that's about it. Thank you, Bante. And still caught up on questions.
All right, let's go. Say goodnight. I can't, in regards to money, I can't talk, and I can't even say, I can't even express thanks in regards to money, but well, appreciate the thought of trying to provide me with robes, and that's kind of awesome. Gonna have a new color, I think, and so it's much appreciated everyone's continuing interest and support to keep me alive and clothed and housed and that kind of thing. It's much appreciated.
It's quite a nice opportunity on our end too, because for a lot of us, we didn't grow up in Buddhist culture, and this is new, and it's really cool. So thank you.
It's awesome that we're able to do this. They said it couldn't be done, but we're starting a center without charging money to anyone.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool.
Yes,
So,
it is.
good night.
Okay. Good night, Bante. Thank you.
Thanks for your help.